happy day. I hope everybody is having a great March 1st. Good morning. I am live on multiple streams this morning. I am live on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn and over here on TikTok. Hi, everyone. Happy March 1st. Shri Krim's here. And today we're going to talk about kindness as your superpower because it absolutely is. Kindness is our only path forward at this point. I know you guys know there's a lot of hate, greed, fear, a lot of those things going on. And we don't have to live that way. We can live in a place where we are amazing and that we're living with kindness. So I appreciate everybody joining me. I got nobody over here on this live, so I'm going to pay attention to you guys over here on TikTok. Good morning and happy March 1st. I am just so lucky to be in this position that I can come and speak with you today and be able to talk about how you can activate kindness as your superpower in case you don't know that. Now, I know I had put online, and you can go to over on my other lives, you guys are seeing the bekindtoall.com. I've actually have a free ebook. It's called Activating Kindness as Your Superpower, and I have it online. You can download it for free. I am not about charging for this because this matters. Activating our kindness and doing the right thing is what we need to do. So I'm super excited that everybody's here with me today, and we're going to talk about this. Off of the stream over here, so I'll add myself back in. It's fun multiplying these and making sure I'm on both sides. So any questions before we get started? Any concerns? I got quite a few people over on TikTok. Happy March 1st. We're learning about kindness as your superpower. And over here, I don't have anybody yet, but it's awesome to be here. And I cannot say any more about that because it's just so awesome to be here and talk to you. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Shri Krim. I think you guys are seeing back in there. This is my book. The wrong one, the white one, Business Case for Kindness. I wrote this back after I quit corporate America. I had worked in telecom for a long time, and I saw all the good, bad, ugly, illegal. Let's not forget all the illegal things that people get away with. And I decided that we can be better. And so I started off and I wrote the Business Case for Kindness. The Business Case for Kindness is the roadmap for our future, not the Ron DeSantis book about revival. That is not it. This is the roadmap for the future because kindness is our path forward. And you will hear me say this quite a bit because I truly believe it. Now, I'm not talking about the kindness where people run all over you. I'm not talking about the kindness of people using you. We're going to talk about what kindness really is. Now, you guys are probably aware of all of the crazy bad bills that are going on within our local state governments. I know at the federal level, there's some other crazy ones going on there, but not the way we have at the local level. I live here in the state of Florida, and my state says it's my body, my choice, but it really isn't unless you're a man, and then you get to tell me what I get to do with my body. See, here in Florida, we're going to have a more extreme abortion ban coming, as well as the extreme that they want to make it illegal to use the word you're homophobic or transphobic. They also want to do things like, make it so our teachers can't ever speak of LGBTQ. Now, we all know none of that is actually going to work out, but we have to go and fight it. Here in the state of Florida, we have a super majority in the Republican side, and they are going to do anything and everything they can to take away rights from people here. Florida is not the freedom state unless you're Ron DeSantis or one of his particular people. Florida is going to become the freedom state because we're going to keep fighting back. This hate is not where we need to go. Also, none of that is true. What about the vax mandate? we're not going down that path. We already know in the state of Florida, we don't have that. So we're not going down there. And I'm not going to any of you guys who want to be jerks over here on TikTok. I will mute you. I really don't care. This is not about that. This is about kindness. And we are talking about people losing their rights. And granted, vaccinations are very important. In fact, most of us have had vaccinations the entire time of our life. And I did get the COVID shot. I've done all of the boosters and I have been fantastic. So back on topic, we're going to talk about activating kindness as your superpower. Now, this book is set up in 3 ways, and I want to just start at the front here. And let's talk about what kindness is. And I put the most simple definition right here in this book. Kindness is the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. Friendly, generous, and considerate. If you're trying to take away rights from people, you are not being considerate, right? As well as when you sit there and you hear people say bad things, right? It drives me crazy. Now, I will listen to Fox News so you don't have to, but whenever your news is just full hate, right? There is nothing newsworthy about calling people names. There is nothing newsworthy of making fun of people. There is nothing newsworthy of trying to sit there and make lies up, which, by the way, Fox News knew the election deniers, that all of it, they knew these people. You guys go look. It's amazing that Fox News let the lies continue. So when you're looking at things, if you are watching news that all they're doing is making fun of people, they're making up names for people, and they can't actually do anything with the facts, and all they're doing is sitting there and talking about their feelings, that's not really news. And I don't care what news station it is. We shouldn't be making fun of people or calling them names or doing those things. So Florida is governed very well. Yes, thank you, Paul. If you truly believe that a dictator is where we need to go, I appreciate that, because it isn't. Now, back to the point at hand. I love when random people leave Florida, then y'all just don't give up on TikTok, do you, all you trolls? So kindness is the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. It's such a simple definition, but we don't always do it. So let's talk about it. The book is in 3 parts. Part 1 is being kind to yourself. And being kind to yourself means that you are actually taking care of yourself. You can't be kind to other people if you're not kind to yourself. That is the truth. So my question to everybody on here today is, who are you? And are you being kind to yourself? Think about that. Every morning when you get up, how will I be kind to myself today? How will I do that? Because that is step 1 to activating kindness as your superpower. Because when you're nice to yourself, then you can be nice to others. And eating healthy, there you go. Perfect. And you know, it's interesting because you don't realize what the food that you put into your body does, right? It is super important to know those things. But when you're struggling to get your basic needs met and all you have is crappy processed food, that's what you have to eat. And we have to understand that all of us are in different parts of this. Exercising, another great way. You can literally lift your mood by going out and taking a quick walk. I am outside all the time. You will see it. I do lives while I'm walking and talking or making videos while I'm out there, because being offline, not online, and being out in nature is just it's quite amazing what you can and can't do with that. So as I'm sitting here, my allergies are acting up and we're on a live, but I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go get a tissue. I usually have them right here and I forgot to grab one. So I will be right back. All right. So now I've got tissues to help myself with my allergies. Meditate and stretch your body. Absolutely. Great ways. Now, you hear people talk about work-life balance. And that was because we were not spending enough time taking care of ourselves and we were spending too much time working. Well, here in the United States, if you are working a minimum wage job and you're expected to take care of a family, you can't have a work-life balance. Your life becomes all about work. And it's kind of interesting because I know a lot of people on all sides of the work spectrum and all sides of this. And taking just the little bit of time each morning, wake up. How am I going to be kind to myself today? What is the one thing I'm going to do? Right? I am just so excited to think about that every morning when I get up. I can't find the motivation to care anymore. I'm in bad shape. Well, you know what? Just taking a 1-minute walk and then making it a 2-minute walk and just keep going. I know it's probably, I have weighed way over 200 pounds and I wasn't able to walk a quarter of a mile. That is the truth. And what I did is I took it baby steps along the way. Number one, I used to be a smoker. I am no longer a smoker. That right there alone made such a dramatic life change by not smoking. It's something that we do or you grow up with. My mom smoked the whole time I was growing up, and I didn't realize that, I take this back. I knew what it was doing to my body because of what you learn in school, right? We all know what smoking does, but you have something called cognitive dissonance that you want to believe that something isn't as bad, or you have to change your whole beliefs around it to be able to do that. Why do you think people are detached from their bodies? Well, your mind actually controls everything. So you get to decide what you do with your body. Good advice. Thank you. Hitting this button over here on this side, and I apologize, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I don't know if there's anybody out there that has any comments on that side. I don't see any live viewers over here, but there's plenty over here on TikTok. So thank you. We're going to continue now, and I'm all over the place with all of this morning because it's quite fun to talk about this. Tenaciousness, a little at a time, but not giving up. Absolutely. There is something out there. If you just make a 1% improvement every day, even a 0.1% improvement every day, you're improving every single day. And that's the key. So, when you're treating yourself kind, that does include self-care, of course. But it's not always the self-care that we think of, right? Taking a hot bath, those things. Those are really nice ways to be kind to yourself. But I have a question for everybody. When was the last time you told yourself you loved yourself? When was the last time you said that? When was the last time you told yourself you were amazing? Number one, first thing every morning. Now, Mel Robbins talks about giving a high five in the mirror every morning or whenever you need a pep talk. That's a great way as well, because apparently when you put up your hand, like I so want to touch, like do a high five with y'all. It's something like when people do that, you have to do it. And so each morning, how are you amazing? High five yourself. You have to start your day off with the mindset of gratitude and kindness. And that right there will be such an amazing change into your day. Now, the next thing you need to do, and all of us do this, the negative self-talk. How many of us are out there saying how stupid we are, or if we make a mistake, how stupid am I that I made that mistake? Or our little voice tells us, oh, you're so stupid, you shouldn't have done that. Or you keep looping on the same decision, right? Oh, I could have done this differently. That's all negative inside of us. And we have to release that to go forward, because that alone will help you be able to be more kind to yourself. Now, There's things around doing all of that. We're not going to talk about how specifically to do that today, but you guys can look online. There's lots of different ways, especially with NLP. And if you haven't heard of NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and it's really awesome what you can teach yourself to do, what you can do, and make sure that you are doing it and you keep following it. And that's the awesome part there. So your thoughts are your reality. So if you think you are stupid, you're going to start to believe that, right? If you think you are worthless, you are going to start to believe that. That's why it's so important every day. You are smart. You are loved. You are capable. You are amazing. Whatever words you want to do, absolutely, you are those things. You are not the negative. Think about what the values you have in your life are. I value a few things, and kindness is number one. I also value my community and my environment, as well as transparency. And I think that's where government has its own issues. I did run for city council in Panama City Beach, and I will run for government again. I'm not saying when, but I will, because we need good people in elected positions that are not out there trying to make themselves more money, like Ron DeSantis and his book tour that he's on right now. Words are powerful. Absolutely, they are. What you say to yourself will become a reality if you keep saying it over and over again, right? You're programming yourself with that negative, and that's not what we need. We need more kindness on that. Earlier, somebody mentioned meditation. Meditation does not mean you need to sit there and meditate for hours on end. Start with 2 minutes. Being quiet for 2 minutes. Now, YouTube has tons of amazing free meditations out there. Online, you can find so many free, amazing meditations. Go find one. Go do one for 5 minutes. In fact, you could even do a meditation right before you go to bed, because meditation does help you. Now, when you're thinking of your life and dealing with the complications of things that come up, responding versus reacting. Now, reacting is the gut reaction. Go out there. Yes, you are also changing the energy around you, which is what I really need to do. Yes, because the energy around you is a reflection, right? It's the mirror of us. And so absolutely praying, of course, absolutely praying, envisioning. You have to think about it. You have to do that. Absolutely. Absolutely. So when you are having an issue and you so want to react to it and just get upset, respond. Take your time. Just because somebody wants a response right then and there does not mean that you have to give it to them. And that is the difference between responding and reacting. You see, employees out there, I think everybody can agree. Employees are tired of bad behaviors, and they're tired of not being treated with kindness. If your manager, your leader, is not kind to themselves, they can't be kind to you, right? So you have this whole process. It has to start with you. Kindness to yourself so that you can be kind to others. What? Self-talk? Absolutely self-talk. Self-talk does matter. What you say to yourself. If you say, I am stupid, you're going to start thinking you are stupid. If you say, I am smart, and you keep repeating that, that's why a lot of people do journaling. Now, journaling is a great way to do every morning, right? You could get up and you could do a gratitude journal in the morning. I journal. I've not been as good with it recently, and I am getting better at it, but you can journal. Talk about what are you grateful for in your life? What is it out there that makes you happy? So in a world where you can be anything, be kind. And that is from Jennifer Dukes-Lee. I love finding these great quotes out there. So it's time to be kind to yourself every day in every way, because then you can get to the next section, which is part 2, being kind to others. Because once you get to the point that you're kind to yourself, you can then be kind to others. Is kindness buying gifts for other people? Absolutely, you could consider that part of kindness. Yet, there is so much more to kindness. I want you guys to think about some ways that we are unkind to people every day. Myself, the news, other people. Number 1, people screaming or flipping each other off while they're driving. That's being unkind. Making fun of how someone looks or talks. That's unkind. Judging someone for who they love or the color of their skin. That's not being kind. Sharing on social media anything that is hateful about another person. If that's all you're doing is making fun of people, you're not being kind. And in fact, I'll bet you're not kind to yourself either. Because if you were kind to yourself, you would think about these things before you did it. And lastly, keeping our mouths shut and allowing the adult bullies to say disparaging things about others right in front of us. How is that being kind? I have funny stories, corporate America. I have funny stories from politics. I have funny stories from nonprofits. But one I want to talk about was I was at a local chamber of commerce meeting here. And this gentleman was disparaging people who were from Mexico, talking about the wetbacks and the words that he used. And I'm there at the event with somebody who's Hispanic, and we're watching this man sit there and go on and on and on. I'm with an Hispanic person, right? So should I say something? Or is it his job? Because is it offending him? No, it was offending me for sure. And yes, it did offend him. But what did we do? We were at a chamber event. What would you do? We sat there and we listened. And then we got away. We got away from this crazy man who was going on and on. The racism was just spewing out. Except the interesting part was these people were here helping us after Hurricane Michael. You would think that somebody who was helping, like his company, was the one who was hiring these people. And this is what he thought of them. After we left, I went back over after I got away from my friend for a little bit because I didn't want to upset anyone. And as I went back and I went and talked to him, I said, you know what you said was inappropriate. I said, you were standing there with an Hispanic man and that you were just sitting there saying very disparaging things about people who are here helping us after Hurricane Michael. Yeah, he looked at me and called me a bitch and walked away. You know what? I said my piece. And that is the key. So, hey, I try. It's so hard. I got somebody live on the other side over here. I think we need a few more anger folks fighting the good folks. But here's the thing. Kindness is the anger, or not the anger. It's the way of dealing with it. Because the more kind we are, the more we can change things. Do not think that I'm not upset about everything that's going on here in the state of Florida and my rights being taken away and the LGBTQ youth that our suicide rates are going to skyrocket because of the hate. But it doesn't have to be that way, because when you're kind to yourself, you can be kind to others, right? If you are making fun of other people, you're probably not being kind to yourself. Let's be clear on that. Now, I have a great quote, and I've used this a couple different times in books that I've done. If you are neutral in the situation of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. If an elephant has its foot on the tail of a mouse and you say that you are neutral, the mouse will not appreciate your neutrality. That's from Nobel Peace Prize winner Desmond Tutu. So us Being kind to ourselves leads to being kind to others and standing up a little more, because being an upstander versus a bystander. Do you sit there and you let this happen? Right. And I know there's a lot of people right now that feel frozen because they don't know what to do about what's going on in our area, in your state, right? Not all states have the hate bills going on, but Tennessee just decided they wanted to outlaw drag performances. And that is absolutely insanity because, oh, drag performances in front of children are not sexual events, but yet we take our children to Hooters, or we have no problem having 18-year-olds going to strip clubs, but you somehow have a problem with somebody performing a musical number dressed up in a costume. This is about villainizing a group of people that they don't like. It's about feelings. Now, I will bet you money all of these politicians that are doing this are not kind to themselves. I will bet money on that, because being kind to yourself, you're not going to want to try to hurt other people and take away their rights. It just blows my mind on that. For the kids, you're enlightened and happy for the kids. Kid beauty contest. Oh my God, yes. Like getting these little girls all dressed up to look like women. Mm-hmm. Now, we won't really go into the fact of the pedophiles and the groomers, which, by the way, I love it. I do feel when people call me a pedophile, a groomer, or a killer, I feel like I'm doing something right, because they don't know me. You can background check me. I am absolutely able to go anywhere and everywhere. And you want to try to say that I am a groomer, a pedophile, or a killer because I believe that women own their own bodily autonomy and that the LGBTQ community is the right community and they're not hurting people? Go look where the abuse is coming from, right? You can see it. It's coming from the churches. And I don't know if you know this, and I think, Bill, you're still on over here. If we had no issue, why would there be insurance? There's insurance now that churches can purchase in case their pastor abuses a child. Why would you need insurance in case you abuse a child? What? It blows my mind to think that that is where we are. We literally, there's insurance out there. So I appreciate, the questions over on both sides here. Are you an educator? I am a trainer. I am not an educator. I teach, I've taught college classes, but I have not taught anything in elementary, middle school, or high school. That is not my forte. I'm a process efficiency expert by trade, project manager, Six Sigma. I have done auditing. I've done business continuity. I've done a lot of things. But my forte is talking to people and working out ways that we can all work together. And that's why I wrote the Activating Kindness as Your Superpower book, because it does matter. Now, being an upstander means that you are willing to step up. And that's in the last chapter of this book, because, we can't have it both ways. There's no such thing as situational values and ethics. Think about it. When you catch somebody doing something wrong, there's usually two different responses when you call out it, right? Number one, they might be sad or mad that they got caught. They knew what they were doing was wrong, and they really are just sad that you caught them. And they will most likely try to blame somebody else. Or they might have remorse of having done wrong, and they're genuinely upset with what happened in the situation, and they take responsibility. Now, most of the time, it's the sadness or madness of getting caught that I make, do I, Rusty? Thank you. I make kindness sound sickening. Do I? Because I want to believe that kindness is our path forward. So bye-bye, Rusty. And you believe in drag queens? Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with drag queens. I have been to 100 drag shows at least. Y'all thinking it's sexual and the lies out there, but that's the part, right? calling them out on it, because the issue is not with the drag shows, it's with the feelings, and they need somebody to villainize on that. So hate, fear, and greed is not our path forward. We are here to lead with kindness and to be kind to one another. Are you willing to step up and be kind to a whole new level? Once you're kind to yourself, then you can be kind to others. Then you can start being that upstander that you so want to be. And I know so many people out there contact me because they need help. What is it that I have to do to help with this? Now, interesting part of this is that people will forget what you said, but people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So if you're out there making people feel like shit all day long, and you're a leader that's out there screaming and yelling and not taking care of your team, you're probably not being kind to yourself. Back to that point. Kindness to yourself is first. Then you can be kind to others. Now, activating kindness as your superpower, I got to tell you, is quite scary, because you're being kind to yourself, being kind to others. But what are your values? What do you value? We talked about values a little earlier. What I value: kindness. I value community. I value our environment, and I absolutely value transparency in my governments. But that doesn't mean that's your values. What are your values? What are the things that you truly believe in? What is it that you want to live by? If you are out there standing up already right now against all of this hate, thank you. I want to thank you so much, because the hate, greed, and fear that we've been living in, it used to be little, and then it keeps growing, right? In the 80s, what started all of this? Reagan, of course, and trickle-down economics with the greed, but getting rid of the fairness doctrine, which used to mean that news channels could only do the news. They were not out there doing opinions. They were not out there doing what they're doing today. So as soon as the fairness doctrine came in, that's when all of the other side of opinion news, that is what Fox is. Fox is not actual. Sometimes they'll have news on, but most of the time they're opinion news. And if you notice on Fox, I don't think I can go. I tried the other day to go like 10 minutes to see if they could not say something negative about somebody, or not make up a name, or say something inflammatory. And they can't, because that's their shock value, right? Because more hate, greed, and fear that you put out there, the more shock value that you get with people. It's kind of one of those things. I am planting the seeds of kindness. Thank you. And I do have kindness for people if you do want it, because I actually have, if anybody wants, I have free Kindness Matters stickers. And I actually have these little Be Kind to All stickers. I love my little hands and everything. I have those. And if you want one for free, just send me an email to Cherie@bekindtoall.com. Or you can go to my website, bekindtoall.com, and do the contact form. And I'll be happy to send you one for free, because it matters. Go out there and put it out. These are actually made to be outside. They are vinyl. But with the rainbows don't last long outside. So usually the sticker lasts about 2 to 4 months on your car. But I'll send you a free one today. And these are not for outside, but they're amazing anyhow. So activating kindness as your superpower, being kind to yourself, being kind to others. And now you're figuring out, what are your values? I'm going to ask you, you need to write them down. If you haven't written down your values and what you believe in, what do you truly believe in this world? I believe in kindness, and I will keep doing that, because following your values and knowing what your values are is how you get to activate your superpower more, because you're going to stand up. You're no longer going to stand by. and be a bystander, you're going to stand up and be an upstander. Now, when you think about your values, you may have some things that happen that you may not have thought about, that things may come up. Oh, I love it. Fear. Yes. False evidence appearing real. I remember the first time I heard that was Lisa Nichols. And I don't know if you guys know who she is. She's a very awesome motivational speaker. But I remember her saying that. I'm like, yep, false evidence appearing real. Because fear is what holds us back from jumping from being that bystander into being the upstander, right? We're worried what's going to happen to me. But as we know, it's false evidence appearing real. Now, I'm not going to say that there could not be, there's bad things out there, and we know that. I'm not going to say that it's not out there, but you can't live your life with that. Even though I'm being called a groomer, a pedophile, and a killer, I have random people who will send me stuff. I have random people who will flip me off when I'm out in public, which is quite fun. I love when they scream out of their car at me because they see my rainbow sticker. But it's what are you going to do? Back to the point that we talked about. You're not going to react, right? I'm not going to do this. I'm going to wave because that's my response. And I'm going to be, kindness is our path forward. Love everybody. Do what God says. God says love everybody, right? God believes in love. God believes that everybody should be loved. It doesn't matter who you are. But some people have taken parts of the Bible and made them the way they wanted them, not the way that it was written by God. I believe in saving the earth. Yes, we do need to do everything we can to save our earth here because it's very important to take care of our environment. So, when you create your values, then you will see where you need to work on things. You think about many things in that, your family, your friends, you think about your community, but have you also thought about how you can help your community? And what you can do in your community and what nonprofits you can help with, because our communities are our path forward. Taking care of each other is what we need to do. We are this change that we want to see, right? You've already always heard these type of things. Now I work with a lot of different charities and I help a lot of different nonprofit organizations, because they are the ones making the difference in our towns. And knowing the amount of money that's needed in some places. Where I live, more than 50% of our children live in poverty. Yeah, that's the truth. It's hard. And one of the nonprofits I work with, we actually do food giveaways, which is very interesting. A lot of people don't know. Here in our area, Feeding the Gulf Coast is the main point of contact. And all you have to do is contact them and set up a day. And all of a sudden, you can be giving away food. Now, it does take a little bit of practice to get used to dealing with 10,000, 20,000 pounds of food and how you have to divide all of that out. But love has been feeding hunger here. I say love, my rainbow flag. Love has been feeding hunger here in the Gulf Coast for a while. And we've been doing that. And it's important that we continue to do those things. So when you are kind to yourself and you're kind to others, and now you're activating your kindness superpower, you're going to learn really quickly. When you hear people say negative things, or you have somebody who is being really homophobic, racist, sexist, most of the time they have no idea, because no one has ever said anything to them. I can't tell you how many times people have thanked me. I had no idea what I was saying was inappropriate. Now, of course, you had the guy that called me a bitch, but that's not the norm. Most of the time, they are very appreciative because they had no idea. And I'll bet you money they'll never say it in front of you again, especially if you do it. Now, There's ways to do this as well that help us not be as defensive. Back to the point of reacting versus responding. You don't go, if they say something sexist, you don't go, that was sexist. Don't say that. That's blame and shame, and that will come right away, and you will shut down. That person will shut down because you're sitting there blaming and shaming them. Right? That's not how you do it. You take them to the side, just like I did with the jerk that called me a bitch. You take them to the side and you have a one-on-one conversation with them. You don't embarrass people. We don't like being embarrassed or being called out in public, right? I know we like this cancel culture bull. No, we need to work with people because us working together is how we make our communities a better place. So I have an example conversation in here that I'm going to go through real quick with you. Hi, and I'm just going to say, hi, Cherie. Hi, Cherie. It was so good to hang out with you today. I really enjoyed our discussion on the community. There was something, though, that concerned me. You said that women should not be in elected office. And I found this very discriminatory towards women. I wanted you to know the reason that I feel this way is because, number one, women are equal. Number two, women should be in elected positions. And number three, I ran for office. So I really would like to understand why you feel this way and go down that path. Try to have the conversation. Put it out there. Now, if they don't want to discuss it, that's it. You're not there to argue your point. You're there to state your point and then move on. Responding and not reacting. You have said your piece. You were, number one, non-threatening. Number two, straight to the point. And number three, you gave specific information. What they take with that is on them. Now, how they handle it will tell you a lot about the person you're dealing with, right? Most of the time, they're going to say, thank you. I had no idea. Or if they really, truly believe what they're saying and they want to keep discriminating, you'll know. Trust me, they will do something like the guy did calling me the B word, right? It will happen. But most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, they're going to thank you. And they're going to be like, Cherie, I had no idea what I was saying was wrong. They're going to say, Cherie, thank you so much for pointing that out. I didn't know I was being discriminatory. Oh my God, what? That's not real. I learned that a long time ago, or I was taught that by my parents. Well, guess what? You now know better. And once you know better, you are better. God, orderly direction, good orderly direction. I don't think I've ever heard that one. Thank you, God. Good orderly direction. When I speak in groups, I try not to use the word you people. Feel like they're being told, not choice, right? Like you people. Yes, absolutely. And I apologize if I said that. If I did, I didn't mean to. I believe that all of us, and I usually use the all y'all. I do, because I was born in Florida. I love people who tell me to get out of the state that I was born in. That's not possible. It's not going to happen. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to fight for my rights. And I'm going to continue activating my kindness superpower all the time, because when you do this, you are helping people. You are not just helping yourself, you're helping your community. You're helping that person understand what is going on, right? You are helping them understand that, hey, what you said was offensive. Now, one thing that I've learned with all of my diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging training is that people do not want to feel like they are the bad guy, right? None of us want to feel like we're bad. None of us want to be the ones out there, being blamed for things. And so that's why you have to do it non-threatening, straight to the point with specific information, because then you're not threatening. You're not making them get on the defensive, right? You're talking with them. I will usually use this type of voice. Now, I have a really loud voice, as I think you guys have heard, but I will use this voice when I'm talking to somebody about these issues. Now, the fact that we actually have a choice in this is really unnerving to people, right? Because if you've been raised in a church that's homophobic, racist, and sexist your entire life, it might be hard for you to realize that doesn't have to be the way. You have a choice. You get to decide, who am I? Am I this person that they want me to be? Or am I the person that I'm choosing to be based on the values that I have set in place? What is my platform? Kindness. Kindness is my platform. Lots of kindness. So you have to decide what your values are, what you're going to do. And, you've heard the saying, hurt people, right? That's why being kind to yourself is number one. Because if you're feeling hurt, you can't be kind to other people. And you'll notice this, right? When you're out and about and you may be having a bad day, you might be short with people, or you might not want to deal with them. Step back. What did you do at the beginning of your day to be kind to yourself? What gratitude did you do? Because once you're kind to yourself, you can be kind to others. That's the goal. The I, by your example, have more influence. You're a good person. Thank you. I believe in living my values, and I do. I don't keep my mouth shut, and I do this work so that I build up my kindness muscle each day. Because eventually you may want to go speak to some of these not so nice people, and I'll say men here in the state of Florida, making up these rules. Or you may want to go speak up at a city council meeting, or you may want to speak up who knows where. Because practice is how it is done, right? You're working on building your muscle. You will be expanding your learning. Your self-esteem, your self-efficacy, your self-love, all of that's going to increase by being kind to yourself, being kind to others, and then activating your kindness superpower. Every day that you love yourself more and you're kind to yourself, you're going to feel better too. It really does change your whole mental outlook on everything. Now, I'm not going to say I have every day is perfect and I'm kind every day. I'm not. We all have bad days. But I'm going to step back and I'm going to think about things. And I always respond versus reacting, because I know if I have to take the 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 days to respond, that's better than me reacting with my emotions, because that's where you can get yourself in trouble. So, kindness will transform your life. And you're going to find more people who are kind once you do it as well. Now, I always end, and I have this in my other book as well. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. Gandhi, right? Very important. Now, this is free. It is a free download on my website. You can go grab it. I didn't go through everything in the book. I went through the major points, but you can go get this free ebook. It's online, bekindtoall.com. I know on some of my platforms, it's scrolling down at the bottom. It might not be over here on TikTok. What do you mean men? The men that are running, the majority of people elected on the Republican side in the state of Florida are men. And those men are the ones deciding what women can do with their bodies. And I truly believe, unless you have a uterus, you should not be deciding what women do with their bodies. So I really appreciate everybody being here today. We've been on for almost, 50 minutes. I'll stay on. Any questions, anything that you guys want to talk about before we go? Like I said, if you would like one of these for free, please send me an email. I'll send you stickers. You can go download this for free. Now, one thing that I do have available that, I've started doing, and I'm sending them out free. And I have this awesome little hand that I keep them on. Me and some of the other people that I work with in the community, we make friendship bracelets, and they all have beads on them because we believe that you need a fancy little bead on your friendship bracelet. But we make these friendship bracelets and we give them out. You can also get them from my website. It's a You Have a Friend program. But if you know somebody who needs one of these, send me an email. I will send it out for free because it matters how we're treating people, because I want people to know that they have a friend and that it is okay and they know that people care. Now, I'm a talisman type person. I like to carry around things. So I also created You Have a Friend Lucky Penny. And yes, you see the penny on there. It actually says Lucky Penny and it comes off, but I'm not going to because it's glued on there. This is one of the ones. But I will send you a lucky penny and you can keep it with you. If there's a certain year lucky penny you want too, I do have a lot of the years. I have a lot of pennies right now. Of course, there's no 2023 pennies yet. I got 2022s on some of these. So I just really want, you agree and you're a Republican. Thank you. See, if this is where, as a Republican, I need you to step up and talk to other Republicans about this, because responding to them with the hate and the need that they have to control women's bodies is absolutely just, I don't understand it. I remember when people said Roe versus Wade wasn't going to be overturned. We all knew that was going to happen as soon as we got in those conservative justices, which some, by the way, some of them are not qualified. I love us electing non-qualified people, just like DeSantis taking over the college board. You know, a normal governor doesn't decide that he wants to take over a college and then get rid of the board and put who he wants in. That's not normal. That's what authoritarians do. And that's what leads to fascism, right? I mean, we are in this spot and it's kind of, we're stuck. We really are stuck right now. And it's going to take more of the kindness as a superpower to get us out of there. So I really had a good time on here. I know people will watch this and it'll be recorded later on some of the channels. So any questions from anyone? Guess what? I am going to go outside. I'm going to go take a walk later and maybe do a talk on politics. So if you want to come back later, it's very possible I could be doing that. So, but I appreciate everybody coming. You can grab your free copy. It's free, free, free. I believe in kindness. I believe kindness is our superpower. And I also know that kindness will help your business. Kindness will help any business. In fact, if you lead with kindness, you will make money. It's not hard because kindness increases your employee engagement. It increases your customer satisfaction. And with those two things equals increased revenue. It's not hard, but I don't know why we don't do it the way that we should. So I appreciate you for staying on, everybody on TikTok, everybody online on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. I hope you guys had a great day. And again, kindness is your superpower. You can activate it today. Go learn how. Step 1, be kind to yourself. You guys have a good day. I'll talk to you later. End broadcast. Bye.